I saw a woman at the grocery store yesterday wearing a beautiful silk blouse, designer bag, expensive jewelry, but something was off. She looked frumpy and older than she probably was. And it wasn't the blouse itself, it was how she was wearing it. There's this one specific blouse mistake that 8 out of 10 women over 60 make, and it instantly adds weight in years. Number 3 on this list is probably hanging in your closet right now, and you think it's flattering. Stay with me. Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to Glow at Any Age, your go-to space for looking absolutely fabulous without emptying your wallet. If you're new here, I'm thrilled you found us. We're a community of women who know that style has no expiration date, and that looking incredible is about smart choices, not expensive price tags. Today we're tackling something that honestly changed the way I shop for tops, and I think it's going to do the same for you. Before we jump in, help me out real quick. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you never miss our weekly style tips. These videos are made specifically for us, for women who want to look polished and put together without breaking the bank. And if this video helps you see your wardrobe differently, give it a thumbs up so more women can discover these tips. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your closet with completely new eyes. Let's get started. So here's what nobody tells you about blouses after 60. The rules change. Not because we're less stylish or less capable of looking amazing, but because our bodies change and certain styles that once worked beautifully can now work against us. And the tricky part? These mistakes are subtle. You might not even realize you're making them, but once you know what to look for, you'll see the difference immediately. These aren't about following trends or buying expensive pieces. They're about understanding what actually flatters us now, and making simple adjustments that have a massive impact. So let's dive into the 7 blouse mistakes that might be aging you right now. Point 1. The first mistake is what I call the fabric cling situation. This happens when you're wearing blouses made from thin, clingy fabrics like jersey knit or cheap polyester that literally sticks to every curve and bump. And here's the thing, these fabrics don't just show your shape, they emphasize every single thing you might not want emphasized. Bra lines, belly, back rolls, everything. It's like wearing a spotlight that says, "Look at all my lumps." The problem gets worse because as we age, many of us experience changes in our torso. Maybe there's a little more weight around the middle, or our posture has shifted slightly. Clingy fabrics make all of this more visible, and they can actually make you look heavier than you are. Plus, these thin materials often wrinkle easily and lose their shape after a few wears, which makes you look sloppy even when you've just gotten dressed. So what's the solution? Look for blouses with structure. I'm talking about fabrics that have some body to them. Cotton blends, ponte knit, structured silk, even good quality linen. These fabrics skim your body rather than cling to it. They drape nicely and create a smooth silhouette without broadcasting every detail underneath. The fabric should feel substantial in your hands, not flimsy or stretchy. When you're shopping, do the stretch test. Pull the fabric gently. If it stretches way out and shows the texture underneath, put it back. You want fabrics that hold their shape and move with you without clinging. Point 2. Mistake number 2 is the busy pattern overload. Now, I love a good print. Patterns can be fun and interesting, and they definitely have a place in our wardrobes. But here's where it goes wrong. When you wear blouses covered in loud, busy, all-over patterns, especially small repetitive ones, your eye doesn't know where to focus. The pattern becomes the main event and you disappear behind it. This is especially true with those tiny floral prints or geometric patterns that are densely packed together. These busy patterns also tend to create visual bulk. Your eyes see all that activity and your brain interprets it as more mass, more size. So even if the blouse fits perfectly, the pattern makes you look larger. And there's another issue. Busy patterns can be incredibly aging because they often feel dated. Remember those blouses from the 80s with the tiny flowers or paisley prints all squished together? They scream a specific era and not in a good vintage way. More in a, I haven't updated my style since 1987 way. What works better? Strategic patterns. Think larger scale prints with breathing room. Maybe a beautiful floral where you can actually see each flower. Or a simple stripe that creates vertical lines. Or better yet, go for solid colors and rich, flattering tones and add your pattern through accessories like scarves or jewelry. If you absolutely love pattern blouses, look for ones where the pattern is concentrated in one area, maybe near the neckline or the hem, with solid fabric making up most of the piece. This gives you that pop of interest without overwhelming your entire frame. The key is that you should be the focal point, not your shirt. Point 3. Here's number 3, and this one surprised me when I first learned about it. The tucked-in trap. I know. We've been told forever to tuck in our shirts to define our waist and look more polished. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A fully tucked blouse, especially into pants or a skirt with a fitted waistband, can actually create more problems than it solves for many of us. When you tuck everything in tightly, you're creating this rigid line right at the widest part of your torso. Any bloating, any extra weight around the middle, any digestive changes that happen naturally as we age, all of that gets compressed and pushed out, creating bulges above and below the waistband. And let's talk about proportion for a second. A fully tucked blouse can make your legs look shorter by creating a very defined break between your torso and lower body. This is especially true if you're petite or if you've lost height over the years, which many of us do. That harsh tuck line chops you in half visually, making you appear shorter and stockier than you actually are. Now, does this mean you should never tuck? Of course not. But the full tuck needs to be strategic. Instead, try the half tuck or what's called the French tuck. This is where you just tuck in the front center portion of your blouse, leaving the sides out. This creates the illusion of a defined waist without all the restriction and bulging. It looks effortless and elegant. Or better yet, look for blouses that are designed to be worn out. These have finished hems and are cut to hit at the hip, creating a flattering line without any tucking needed. The right length blouse worn untucked can actually be incredibly slimming, because it schemes over your midsection rather than highlighting it. Point 4. Mistake number 4 is the wrong neckline syndrome. This is huge because your neckline frames your face, and if you get it wrong, everything looks off. The biggest culprit here is the crew neck or high round neckline. These sit right at the base of your neck, creating this closed-off look that can make your neck appear shorter and your shoulders broader. As we age, many of us develop what's sometimes called tech neck or forward head posture, and a high round neckline emphasizes this by drawing a horizontal line right where the issue is. Turtlenecks fall into this category too. Unless you have an incredibly long, slender neck, turtlenecks after 60 can be suffocating. They add visual bulk to your upper body and can make you look like you're hiding rather than highlighting your features. And here's something interesting. High necklines can actually make your face look fuller because they create no separation between your face and your body. It's all one continuous line, which isn't flattering. The necklines that work better for us are V-necks, scoop necks, and open collars. These create vertical lines that elongate your neck and draw the eye up toward your face. A V-neck in particular is magical because it creates the illusion of length and makes your shoulders appear narrower in proportion. The key is finding the right depth. You don't want a plunging neckline that shows too much, but you want enough of a V to create that lengthening effect. Generally, the V should end somewhere between your collarbone and the top of your bra line. Scoop necks work similarly as long as they're not too high. And open collar blouses, like classic button-downs worn with the top few buttons undone, create that same elongating vertical line while looking polished and put together. Okay, quick check-in. How many of these mistakes have you been making? Be honest. Drop a comment and let me know which one hit home for you. And if you're finding this helpful, please hit that like button. It really does help more women discover this content, and we all deserve to look our absolute best without spending a fortune. Alright, let's keep going because the next 3 are game changers. Point 5. Number 5 is the sleeve length disaster. This is so important and yet so overlooked. The wrong sleeve length can completely throw off your proportions and make your arms look shorter and heavier than they are. The worst offenders are 3/4 length sleeves and those awkward mid-forearm sleeves. Here's why they don't work. They cut your arm at the widest point, which is typically the forearm. This creates a visual stopping point right where your arm is fullest, making it appear thicker. It's the same principle as wearing pants that end at the widest part of your calf. It just emphasizes width. 3/4 sleeves also have this dated quality to them. They were everywhere in the early 2000s, and now they just feel stuck in time. Plus, they're neither here nor there. Not quite short, not quite long, just awkwardly in between. And if you're someone who experiences arm looseness or what some people call bat wings, these sleeves can actually make that more noticeable, because they create a sort of pushed-up effect on the skin. So what sleeve lengths actually work? Full-length sleeves or genuinely short sleeves. Full-length sleeves create a long, unbroken line from shoulder to wrist, which is incredibly slimming and elegant. If you want to show some skin, genuinely short sleeves that end above your elbow work beautifully because they're showing the narrowest part of your arm. The key is hitting either above the elbow or all the way at the wrist. Nothing in between. And here's a pro tip for those full-length sleeves. You can push them up slightly past your wrist to create a relaxed, effortless look while still maintaining that lengthening effect. Just don't bunch them up at the forearm. Keep them at the wrist or just above. Point 6. Let's talk about mistake number 6, the oversized shapeless situation. There's this misconception that bigger is better when it comes to hiding our bodies. So many women buy blouses that are 2 or 3 sizes too large, thinking that all that extra fabric will camouflage their shape. But here's the reality. Oversized and shapeless are not the same as flattering and comfortable. When your blouse is too big, you just look bigger. All that excess fabric adds visual bulk and makes you appear larger and less put together than you actually are. The other problem with oversized blouses is that they hide your shape completely, which sounds like a good thing until you realize that having no defined shape at all makes you look like you're wearing a tent. Your body has a shape, and even if it's changed over the years, working with that shape rather than hiding it entirely is always going to look better. Plus, oversized blouses can make you look shorter because they overwhelm your frame. All that fabric essentially swallows you up. And instead of looking effortlessly chic, you look like you're drowning in your clothes. The better approach is finding blouses that fit properly in the shoulders and have some gentle shaping through the body. Not tight, not clingy, but skimming. Your blouse should follow the general line of your body without clinging to every detail. This is where good tailoring comes in. Sometimes buying a blouse in the size that fits your shoulders and bust properly, and then having it taken in slightly at the sides can create the most flattering fit. The cost of simple alterations is minimal, usually $10 to $20, and the difference in how you look is enormous. You want to aim for what I call the skim fit. The fabric should skim over your body with a little bit of ease, creating a smooth silhouette without adding bulk or revealing every detail. Point 7. And finally, mistake number 7, the cheap shiny fabric problem. This is the one that makes me cringe every time I see it. You know those blouses made from cheap polyester that have this weird shiny, almost plasticky sheen to them? They catch the light in all the wrong ways and they scream low quality from across the room. These fabrics typically don't breathe, so you end up sweating and uncomfortable. They hold on to odors and they pill and wear out quickly, which means you're constantly replacing them. But the biggest issue with these shiny synthetic fabrics is how they photograph and how they look in different lighting. That shine reflects light in a way that actually makes you look larger and highlights any wrinkles or texture in the fabric itself. Instead of draping nicely, these blouses often look stiff and artificial. They wrinkle in weird ways, creating creases that add visual bulk and make you look rumpled even when you've just ironed them. The solution is investing in better quality fabrics, and this doesn't mean spending a fortune. It means knowing what to look for. Natural fibers like cotton, silk, and linen are always a better choice than cheap polyester. But if you're going synthetic, look for high-quality polyester blends that have a matte finish and a soft hand feel. Good quality fabrics should feel substantial and pleasant to touch. They should drape when you hold them up, not stand stiff. And they shouldn't have that telltale shine. Here's my shopping tip. When you're looking at blouses, whether online or in person, check the fabric content. If it says 100% polyester and the price point is very low, that's usually a red flag. Instead, look for blends. Cotton polyester blends, silk blends, rayon blends. These typically perform better, feel better, and look more expensive than pure cheap synthetic. And honestly, it's better to have 3 beautiful, well-made blouses that you rotate regularly than a closet full of cheap ones that make you look frumpy. Quality over quantity wins every single time. So there you have it, 7 blouse mistakes that might be aging you and making you look less polished than you deserve to look. Clingy fabrics, busy patterns, the tucked-in trap, wrong necklines, bad sleeve lengths, oversized shapeless fits, and cheap shiny fabrics. But here's what I really want you to take away from this. These mistakes are all fixable. You don't need to buy a whole new wardrobe. You just need to shop smarter and be more intentional about what you're choosing. Start by going through your closet with fresh eyes. Pull out your blouses and evaluate them against these 7 points. You might find that some of your favorites are actually working against you. And that's okay. It's information, not judgment. Then when you're shopping for new pieces, whether that's at the mall or online or even thrifting, Keep these guidelines in mind. The right blouses will transform how you look and how you feel, and they don't have to cost a fortune. If this video opened your eyes to some wardrobe mistakes you've been making, please hit that like button and subscribe to Glow at Any Age. We're all about helping you look fabulous on any budget, and I post fresh content every single week. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which mistake were you making? Or do you have a specific style question you want me to tackle next? I read every comment and I genuinely love hearing from this community. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, style doesn't have an age limit. You've got this.